Right, so just to summarize what we covered in today's live stream, predicting and looking for opportunities for tomorrow's trading session. We had today dollar index making another leg to the upside, breaking the previous highs from last Friday, and is getting a little bit closer into that supply that we looked for. So we're still within this range that I still see potential sell pressure in here, so I'm going to still continue to look for some sell opportunities depending on how price is approaching, and if you do have PI, in this case break off structure to the downside, potentially we can look for a new opportunity to look for more sells on the dollar index after basically a strong momentum that we have throughout the month of October. There are a few levels that I'm looking for, potentially something in here, in there, and then a little bit above it. And then you can kind of reverse and look for the euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on. Look for exactly the same potential setups, but as a long opportunity. Right? Again, looking at euro dollar, you can still see potential demand zone underneath this low and still within the zone on the left side. Pound dollar, actually would like to see price moving a bit more to downside. Aussie dollar also is still within that demand zone. I'm still looking to see how price may react from these lows. New Zealand, I would like to see price going a little bit further down before looking for those longs in here. Looking at the yen pairs, we actually had now a continuation on the yen index to the downside, finally managing to break below the structure, which means that you are looking for the yen pairs moving to the upside. We have dollar yen, again, another leg up, with the dollar helping also for that move to the upside. So again, depending on where dollar yen may react close to that level on the left side, we may see a little bit of a reaction to the downside, but not yet a zone to look for a big reversal. Euro yen, pound yen, and so on. Keep tracking to see how price may react from the highs. A dollar CAD, it made another leg up, so again continuation. Even though last week we were looking for shorts, we had the short and price reached the target that you were looking for. However, in the bigger picture, there's still more momentum to the upside. And now that price is getting closer and closer to the high on the left side in the bigger picture, what we are expecting is price to start compressing a little bit, which means that as price makes a move up, we are expecting price to then retrace back down, and this can create opportunities for both the buyers and the sellers within the same trading session, while we are still bullish, getting closer and closer to those highs. Until we actually have a clear break of structure to downside, I think price will continue within this dynamic. There is still a good levels on the left side where price can react. They are fresh, which means that there's going to be still an opportunity for some reactions in there. US indices, we have S&P that managed to break the first low for a long time. All right, so the previous lows in here, basically all of them have been respected, and now today we actually managed to break a little bit of a structure, which means that it opens the door for the S&P to continue to move to a little bit more to downside. I still like the levels at the highs, potentially for price to react from, or even somewhere around this structure we could find some more selling pressure as well. But that's just something that S&P starts to provide. Again, S&P didn't really provide any sell pressure last week or sell signals, and now it's doing it. Nasdaq is still within the same range. Again, I would still like to see price moving a little bit more towards the downside, but first we need to break this structure before moving there. As long as this level holds, then price can go slightly higher. Dow Jones is the one that we actually saw last week that price broke a low. So even though we were anticipating new highs, but this low starts creating some more sell pressure, and now price is coming a little bit more down to or retesting that level, which eventually could break, but for now price can have some reaction from here. So it was a really good move today on the Dow and DAX as well, kind of moving a bit more to downside, and I'm looking to see what's going to happen around this structure. If it breaks, I think it opens the door for a bigger move to downside on DAX, even though you can retrace first before moving down. I think this key level in here is quite important, or even to be more precise, maybe somewhere in there, but you can consider out the range, to be honest. Gold and silver saw some selling pressure today, even though they still continue to be quite in a bullish momentum. Really interesting that Bitcoin and Ethereum reacted from a key level, one of the last levels at the highs, especially on Bitcoin, from that supply level. Ethereum also reacting from a great level in here, from this supply zone. Now both of them are reacting from the first initial target, which is this demand zone. So if this breaks downside, it opens the door to go further down. Same thing on BTC, starts breaking these levels, starts opening the door a little bit more to downside, and there's maybe more sell pressure to expect if price retraces the highs. I think there's still opportunities to look for sales. And then oil continues to be within the same range. I still want it to go slightly lower before potentially look for longs, but as you can see, anytime price moves down, there's a lot of buy pressure pushing price up straight away, but it's still within the same range. It hasn't really moved whatsoever for the last 2, 3, 4 days, so I'm looking for price to make a little bit more of a leg down before actually looking for a deeper reversal on oil to the upside. Of course, taking everything in consideration, especially the situation in the Middle East. And that's basically it. So again, tomorrow looking for potential retracements on the dollar to the downside, which means potential longs on the euro and so on. Euro pound as well. I like the setup of a potential continuation to the upside, a little bit over test close to the lows and then push higher. The indices, yeah, within the right same range. I think there's opportunities for both buyers and sellers. And that's basically it. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow again. If you are new, feel free to subscribe, feel free to join, feel free to share any trading ideas that you have for us to analyze the market together. With that being said, thank you very much, guys. We got it.